expects you to do whatever you can to help one another. As holy people, be sympathetic, 2, kind, humble, gentle, and be patient. Be sympathetic and kind to one another. In real time of our fellowship as a church, this is the time we should extend sympathy and care for one another. It is called empathy. What that means is that you must try to understand the challenges people are going through. Empathy says, I understand what you are going through. I understand what you are feeling. And I understand that what you are feeling is not just you alone. It is not strange or extremely bad. So your word of encouragement to someone can lift that person up. I said your word of encouragement can lift someone up. A phone call from you to someone can lift the person up. This is not the time you say, I don't care, I'm not part of you. We are a full body, we have different parts. If you've been following international news, you will see in the next 2 months from now, you will find several demonstrations will be going around the world, putting pressure on government. And government will be resigning because it will be becoming too much unbearable for them. These are things you will see around the world. Some of the older generation have seen those difficult times before. They didn't die. They were able to hold it together. So you, this generation, don't disappoint them. This generation, you must also prove that we too, we can stand it. We too, we can be strong enough. Let's tell the world that in the midst of the difficulties, we can withstand the shocks. You, this generation, we have never seen First World War before. Have you seen First World War before? Give me a feedback. Have you experienced First World War before? No, shout it. So with this generation, we haven't experienced First World War before. We haven't experienced Second World War before. So there were generations that saw First World War. In the midst of their First World War, there were economic crises. Somewhere they were able to stand. Then the second generation faced a Second World War. That they couldn't even get 2 meals a day to eat. But yet they were able to take care of their children in the midst of those days. Now this is a generation we find ourselves. If the generation of the First World War could stand, if the generation of the Second World War could stand, this generation can stand any shocks and any difficulties. Are you hearing me? I said if the generation of the First World War could stand, at that time they had children, they had babies they were taking care of. In the Second World War generation, they were having babies they were taking care of, yet they could stand. This generation can stand the economic difficult challenges our world is going through. We will stand. We will not disappoint the generation that experienced the First World War. We will not disappoint the generation that stood the Second World War. We will stand to prove that if they did and they stood, we can stand together too. We can still take care of our children, but we can do that when we are together. We can do that when we help one another. So we can extend help to one another so that everybody will know you are not the only one going through this difficult time. Somebody shout, I am not alone. Oh, look at somebody and tell him or her, you are not alone.